What's up, Niner Faithful? Johnny Dell back again, continuing our weekly review of the Tampa Bay game. I know we talked the last few episodes about the defense. We're going to switch to the offense here, talk a little bit about what happened. What I'm going to do is we'll kind of just show each series, see what good happened in each series, what bad happened in each series, why they ended up the way they did. So we'll start out here with the very first series of the game, very first play of the game. Now this is a play we've all seen a lot. It's just our slide concept. That is, you get everybody sliding one way, you bring the tight end back on a drag route, you bring your X receiver, you put him on a corner route or a vertical route to clear everything out, you bring your Z receiver over on a crossing route. We've seen this a ton of times. The idea is you want your backside defender just to take one or two steps the wrong direction, and you've got him beat. Kittle's so fast, that's all he needs is a guy to take one or two wrong steps. So here you see 58, he takes a couple steps the wrong direction. That's all Kittle needs. There he breaks open, and that's enough for him to scamper for 19 yards. Good deal. We're moving. Everything's going great. Our offense is moving. So now we get into the red zone. One thing I want to talk about here is in the West Coast offense, something you got to understand is Bill Walsh's philosophy was once you got inside the 20, he wanted to go for the end zone. He said he was no longer looking to really just get a first down. He wanted a touchdown inside the 20 because things begin to get so much more compressed the closer you get. He said it was almost counterproductive to start getting closer to the end zone. So really, once he was in the 20, he was looking to take a shot at the end zone each time. So this is kind of the idea and the philosophy that I do believe that Kyle Shanahan uses. And we're going to talk about this play a little bit. This is one we do have a missed opportunity here, and so we'll talk about that a little bit. Here, Tampa Bay comes out, and they're showing a cover 4 look. They've got this cover 4 shell, and what they're going to do is they're actually going to come and drop 8. They're only going to rush 3 and drop 4 underneath defenders. What we're going to do is we're going to come out, and we're going to run several concepts here. First, I'll start on this side. We're going to take Bourne, and we're going to run him on a post route. And then we're going to take Coleman and run him on a Texas route or circle route, whichever way you want to look at it. We're going to take Goodwin, and he's going to be on a corner route. And Juszczyk is going to be on a little curl. Up top, you have what's called a smash concept. That is a curl and a corner route. That's in case it's a cover 2 beater. If you have a cover 2 zone here, this flat defender, which would be the corner, would be put in conflict. You're vertically stretching him. And so that's where Jimmy would go if he sees that these safeties widen, he would have looked to this side for the cover 2. They don't widen, and so he sticks on the other side. We're going to take Kittle here, and we're going to run him on a corner route. And what that's going to do is this creates what's called a scissors concept. And that's a horizontal stretch of a safety. Again, it can work against cover 2. It can work against cover 4. We also have this Texas concept and or sucker concept where what you're doing is it's a vertical stretch where now you're putting the middle defender in a vertical conflict so that he has to choose either the deep or the short. And we'll kind of watch this, see what happens on this play. So here you see Tampa Bay only rushes 3. They're dropping 4. As we drop back, we see again the cover 4, so Jimmy Garoppolo sees that. He ignores the cover 2 beater on this side, and he's going to look to the 2 concept side where you have the Texas and the scissors. Here he's reading this safety. That's really where he's looking. He's reading through these 2 defenders, I should say. He's looking deep to short, and here what he's seeing. Now, one thing notice, Richburg, Vita Vea is a big man and a beast, and so he beats a double team here of Laken Tomlinson and Richburg, and he starts getting Jimmy's face, and Jimmy has to actually sidestep. You'll see it right there. He sidesteps out, and so right here where he starts to sidestep, he does a good job. He keeps his eyes downfield. Again, remember, he's probably looking at this safety, and because you're seeing these guys drive on the underneath. Now, Bourne is breaking open here, but I want to look at what Jimmy Garoppolo sees. And what he sees is he's seeing this safety driving on Bourne's route. He's flipped his hips, and he's going to drive in. And so what I do believe Kittle has here is a choice route or option route, or really more of it's a read route where he's got a middle of the field open or middle of the field closed route. So if the middle of the field is open, meaning a cover 2, he's going to run this as a full corner to stretch this safety. and get behind the corner. If it's a middle of the field close, being cover 3 or cover 4, I do believe he's supposed to run this route a little bit skinnier and stay vertical again to sit in between. If it's cover 3, in between the safety and the corner, or cover 4, again, between the safety and the corner. So Jimmy Garoppolo sees this safety turn, and he's going to try and throw it into that vacated zone now. And it's going to be a little hard to see because the resolution isn't really great. But what you can see is Kittle ran a full corner route. He bent this off and ran flat, and Jimmy throws it out more in this direction as if he was expecting him to stay a little bit more vertical. He's throwing it away from the corner into where the safety had just vacated. We'll see if this you can see it a little bit better right here. As you can see there, he's throwing it a lot farther inside than Kittle was, and I do believe that was because he was reading this. Now, to go back, he did have Bourne open. That's not to give him an out here, because the underneath defenders were drawn up by Coleman, and he's got Bourne open, most likely for a touchdown. I don't think this safety, if he kind of throws it out here, it'd be a tight throw because these defenders do close a lot faster than you would think. But, this was one part. Some of it's being that these guys haven't played together a whole lot and haven't played together in a while. So, this one, you can kind of make up for yourself if you think he should have thrown to Bourne or if Kittle should have ran more vertical. Either way, it's a missed opportunity. So now here's the very next play. We end up still having an opportunity. What happens is we just run a quick screen here to George Kittle. He catches the ball. Now here, I wish Kittle had cut outside, because if you see here, we've got angles with our linemen. Goodwin's here. If he cuts this outside, just takes it up here, he's probably gone for a touchdown, but he ends up cutting it right back in to Sue, and he gets tackled short of the line to gain. As you see there, he had a wide open lane up here. Again, this is something that you're looking to just kind of clean up, being that it's the first game of the year. Wish that he'd cut it outside. Missed opportunity. So now here comes the second drive. We're going to do, I lined this up a little off, sorry. We're just going to run what would be called a 24 toss in the offense I played in high school. John Gruden would call this a 94 toss, because he calls the running back here the 9 back. This is an interesting play. We do a good job here. What's going to happen is Mike McGlinchey here is just going to come up, and he's going to look to block this backside linebacker. We're going to get a scoop block here, and then Juszczyk's going to come, and he's going to kick out, and this is Kittle. He's going to come, and he's going to kick out, and so we're going to open up a lane right through here, and they do a good job. They do a good job blocking here. You can watch this. We catch Tampa Bay in a little bit of a line slant, and so here you look. McGlinchey does a good job ignoring the outside defender, and he goes and he picks up number 45. Juszczyk picks up number 58 here. Kittle kicks out the DB. And what this does is this puts Tevin Coleman on David one-on-one. And what he's just going to do here is he's just going to try and set him up for a cutback. Now, I will say Coleman does a good job, David, 54, he does a really good job playing this, because he gets beat, but he recovers enough to slow down Coleman. But you can see this is just kind of how you draw it up, and it's just a great call by Shanahan to get that lane. That's what you're looking for. He goes through, gets a nice 12-yard gain. He's going to finish the run well. That's cool. So now we're going to move on, and what you have here is this is just a couple plays later, we get a short completion to Marquise Goodwin. Here, what we're going to try and do is set up a screen to Tevin Coleman, and this is Vita Vea in the middle. Again, this is going to be a good player for a long time to come. Just watch Vita Vea on this play. He's going to recognize the screen, and he's going to chase it down. That's a big man doing some good work. That's one of those, we don't really execute this poorly. What really happens is, because you can see here, that looks great. You got a lane, you got blockers out in front of you, but Vita Vea just goes and he makes a play. I mean, if he's not there, Coleman's got all this room to run, and he's off to the races. That's just a good play by a young player. That's one of those you tip your cap and you move on. The very next play, now this is 3rd and 1. We're going to try and do just a 23 dive. That's a dive by the halfback, or again, as John Gruden would say, a 93 dive, where you have the 1 hole here, the 3 hole here. We're just going to try and run a dive right in here. And what ends up happening is, as you can see here, Juszczyk's just going to try and lead up into the hole. Coleman, what he needs to do is realize this is just a dive play. You need 1 yard. Just hit the hole hard, man. Like when I was a running back, that was what we were taught. You hit that hole and you hit it hard. Here, Tomlinson does get beat by Sue. This is Sue right here. He does get tossed aside, but Tomlinson does still do a good job of pushing him out of the hole. Understand, they only need to get right here, right where Staley's foot is. 45 is not in a position to stop Coleman before he gets a first down, but Coleman ends up kind of dancing around, and he tries to cut to his right, and he gets swallowed up by Sue, and it's a -1 yard gain. What he really needed to do was just dive into the hole. All right, so now we're going to move on. This is the next drive, again, because that one failed. We're on play that we're going to run a sweep to the left, just a toss sweep. This is a really sloppy play. What you have is Goodwin's here. He's supposed to block down on this linebacker. We're going to pull Staley around. Lakin Tomlinson needs to cut this guy off, and then Richburg needs to cut off Vita Vea, and we just miss a lot of blocks here. So right from the beginning, you're going to see this. Excuse me, it wasn't Richburg. It was Person is supposed to cut off Vita Vea. Right from the beginning, you see Marquise Goodwin whiffs on his block. You have Lakin Tomlinson doesn't block anybody because he gets confused, and so he just leaves this guy alone. And so he's free to run into the backfield. And so that one, now Breda has to go around him because Goodwin whiffed on his guy. As Staley's pulling around, he was supposed to block this defender. Now he's got to block this defender. We have our tight end's going to come up try and block him. So now we have one person that's not blocked. So that's, again, going to affect this play and force Breda to try and cut it back up in. And then because Person, again, Vita Vea is going to be a good player. Watch his hustle on this play. He's going to see it and then chase this play down all the way down the line and get in on the play. That's pretty good for a big guy. I mean, he's a big guy and he's out there moving. But all of this causes just confusion. It's just a sloppy play. This is one. It's just a poor execution on our part. So, again, week 1 of the season, things aren't running real smooth. So then this is the very next play. This is the first down to Deebo Samuel where he ends up knocking the safety's head off. This is a play I want to show because there's a number of good things that happen here. So what I'll do is first talk about what's happening on the backside. I'll actually talk about Tampa Bay's defense. Again, they're going to come out in a cover 4. So this is, again, 4 deep. They're going to have 3 underneath. And what we're going to do is on this backside, we're going to run what's called a double slant concept. We're going to run a double slant concept here. And over here, what we're going to do is, we're not going to run a double slant concept here. We're going to run a sucker concept here. And on this side, we're going to run a double slant. So let me get rid of these. What we're going to do is Kittle's going to come and hook over the middle, and then we're going to run a post, and then we're going to run a curl. Then on this side, we're going to run the double slant. Sorry about that. So we're going to run a double slant here. So what Jimmy's going to do is, because he's seeing that this is 3 underneath, he's going to read this defender. This is his key defender. If he stays out, he throws it in. If he comes in, he throws it out. That's a horizontal stretch. And one thing that happens here is Kittle's presence on the field makes a difference. So here at the snap, Jimmy drops back. He looks like he's staring his receivers down. What he's doing is he's staring this defender down. He's reading his key. So here, all he sees is that the defender stays inside. It means it's open here. And so then he's just going to throw it into the spot between the safety and the corner. Now, one thing here, notice this safety is drifting and he's got his eyes inside. What that is he's watching George Kittle. That's the presence of George Kittle affecting a play. Because look at this safety. He just drifts away from Deebo Samuel, and that's part of what opens this play up and makes him a little bit late on it. Because if you look, he starts out outside the hash, and by the time the ball's thrown, he's inside the hash. Again, that's because of George Kittle, because he's worried about any crossing or over routes coming from him. So here, we've occupied the inside defender. There's an open, and then Jimmy Garoppolo throws a really nice ball. You see this in real time and just see where he places his ball away from the defender in there, and Deebo Samuel just makes a tough catch. Does a great job. A lot of good things there. So now we're going to end the video, unfortunately, on a little bit of a down note. We're going to run, this is Jimmy Garoppolo's interception. I like the read. I don't like the undisciplined nature of his eyes on this play. So this is why I got confused on what I was drawing on the last play, because we had a double slant concept down here. Here, what Tampa Bay is going to do is that they're late rotating into a cover 3. This is not a problem for Jimmy. He's not gonna be fooled by this. That's not the problem. So I'm gonna draw up the zone defenders here. So you have a deep third here. This safety's coming over in a deep third. This corner's gonna bail in a deep third. And now you're gonna have curl flat here. You're gonna have hook curl here, and flat here. And so for the offense, what we have is we have a double slant concept over here again. Double slant. So you have 2 slants. Pretty simple. And then what we're going to run on this side is we're going to run a smash concept. So we're going to just run this here. Now smash works against cover 2. It can also work against cover 3. What Jimmy's doing is he's going to read this defender again, because the idea is this corner route / fade route is going to pull this this deep third defender out, and then it's also going to keep this curl flat defender inside and should open up Tevin Coleman right here. I've seen Jimmy make this throw with this concept against this defense several times, and usually it's just an easy pitch and catch. The difference is he's not disciplined with his eyes to make sure that the corner is actually going to bail. This corner he makes a good play. So here, as he's dropping back, this corner makes no attempt to bail as this corner is. You can see the difference in the depth. Jimmy doesn't need to see that. He's looking at this defender, and what he's seeing is that he's staying in on Goodwin, and he flips. And so you see here, if this is the defender that's responsible for Breda, when he curls, he's not in any kind of position. What he doesn't see is the corner sitting flat. What I would like to see him do is recognize that this is one thing where he's got a really fast release, very quick decision making. This kind of bit him on this. If he holds his ball for just a half second longer, he's going to see this corner flat-footed, and you're going to get Marquise Goodwin running up the sideline wide open. And we've seen him make that throw. That's a big gain. Take what the defense is giving you. If they're going to squat on underneath routes like this, you got to make them pay. And again, this is a corner that he's completely bailing on his responsibility, but Jimmy's got to see that he's flat-footed. Again, he's reading this guy, and so it's really quick, and he's throwing it. It's one of those, probably the moment right here, he's wishing he had this ball back. The corner makes a good play on the ball, and it's just easy. I like the read. I don't like the undisciplined nature of the eyes. He's got to keep his eyes on this guy and see him flat-footed. Well, thanks for checking out the video. We're going to continue this series on again here in just a little bit, so stay tuned for the next episode to be going. We're going to keep looking at the offense and how everything went. Thank you for tuning in. Again, you can always interact with me in the comment section on Reddit or at 49erswebzone.com in the fan forum for the coaches film and analysis thread. Thank you for watching. If you want to support me with Patreon, I will put the link below. So thank you guys, and go Niners.